Hey guys, welcome to this video and my channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about what does it actually take to become a data analyst, what do data analysts actually do, and what should you be learning and focusing on if you wish to pursue a career as a data analyst. Now we know there's thousands of courses out there on data analysis, and most of these courses teach a specific technology. For instance, learn BigQuery or Tableau or become an expert in pandas, right? But they don't really connect the dots necessarily, meaning there's no realistic guidance in terms of the direction you need to take or what's the course of action once you've learned a specific technology. So the objective here really is that by the end of the video, you will have a fair understanding of what are the roles and responsibilities as a data analyst, what do data analysts do as part of their day-to-day tasks and activities, most importantly, what technologies should you be learning and how exactly should you be learning them. On that note, this video is for all the aspiring data analysts, or if you're one of the people who want to make a career switch and get started with the whole data ecosystem. It's also for product and software engineers who want to become data analysts, or just anybody who feels overwhelmed by the prospect of getting started, since the world of data and technology is constantly evolving with new things and it can get really confusing at times. Now, there are two types of people, I assume, especially if you're watching this video. You're either someone who is figuring out how to learn or what to learn in order to crack the interviews and land a job, or you want to learn and actually become a successful data analyst. In either case, this video should help. But before we jump into those details, just a quick note of who I am and why should you even be watching this video. So my name is Siddharth. I'm a data architect by profession and a Udemy instructor. My expertise lies mainly around distributed data processing on cloud, machine learning, MLOps, and cloud architecture. I have worked in a wide range of industries from retail to product to e-commerce and banking sector as well. So that was a bit about me. Now comes the million-dollar questions. Where do I start and what exactly should I learn? And these questions are only normal, especially if you're new to this whole data science and analytics gaga, and there's absolutely no predefined set of technologies that you need to learn that might answer these questions perfectly. Now, let me talk about the day-to-day activities, the roles, the responsibilities of a data analyst, and I'm going to be extremely honest here and understand that this comes from my little experience of having worked with a bunch of startups, SMEs, and even corporates. Now, the role of a data analyst is usually semi-functional, and this totally depends on the level of seniority of the role. In general, it's a combination of tech and functional both. First of all, you will not be working with a bunch of CSV files on your desktop using which you will create amazing Tableau or Power BI dashboards. In fact, chances are that you might not even have access to the data directly, and if you do, you're not just allowed to extract them and do whatever you wish to, either because the data is huge and it might get too expensive and slow, or the company policy doesn't allow data to be stored in your computer. Now, there could be a whole lot of reasons out there. Also, a very important point to make a note of here is that 90% of the companies are on cloud, and cloud is the way to go. Cloud is the future, which means if you've learned pandas or plain Python or just SQL for data analysis, then you should know how to execute them on cloud in order to analyze vast volumes of data which is sitting on cloud. Now, if you've been hired as a junior data analyst or just a mid-level data analyst, most likely your job will be to create dashboards and reports using the visualization tool which your organization is already using and paying for. And this tool might be the one that you've never worked on in the past. Also, you might have to constantly interact with stakeholders or the business teams to understand what exactly do they want to see, meaning what KPIs or metrics do they wish to analyze and look at in order to improve the business. Now, this brings me to my next point, which is extremely important. As an analyst, you will need to understand the different data sources in order to create reports or dashboards or even enrich the data, because your company might have a few sources of data, right? There's not always one database or one source of data. Now, they could have offline data or files that you might have to merge your sales data with. In fact, there could be a lot of mix and match and enrichment that you might have to end up doing to get the data right. Now, if you're lucky and you end up in a company that has an established data ecosystem, meaning all the data is available in one data lake or a data warehouse, and they have a strong data engineering team, then you will somehow figure out a way to access the right data with the help of your tech team without having to figure it all out by yourself. However, this does not happen often, especially if it's a startup company that has hired you as a data analyst to help the business teams. In fact, I've seen majority of the startups don't even have a data lake or a data warehouse. They constantly struggle with data extraction and creating basic reports. Finally, one skill set which goes without saying is presentation skills or storytelling, where you as a data analyst will share your insights with the business teams. So now that we've seen what is expected from you as a data analyst, we can now talk about what exactly do you need to learn in order to land a job and also become successful in your career as a data analyst. Now, the first skill set that I want to talk about, or the skill set that I want you guys to have in your toolkit, is cloud fundamentals. It's absolutely critical for anybody to understand the basics of cloud computing. Just take any popular cloud provider like AWS or Google Cloud and understand how things work. Now, you don't need to get super technical, but get the fundamentals right, such as understanding what are virtual machines, what are serverless components, and what does serverless mean, how to execute Python script on cloud, and what are the possibilities. Again, if you wish to become a data analyst, you really don't need to get too technical with these things. Just understanding the basics of cloud should suffice. Secondly, SQL. Now, SQL is something nobody should avoid learning, because as an analyst or a data scientist who wants to analyze the data, you really cannot use pandas or plain Python to extract the data out of your database or data warehouse as you wish, because that becomes extremely slow and way too expensive. And most likely, if you're dealing with big data or vast volumes of data on cloud, you will not be allowed to use just Python to analyze your data. So I would say just take any one analytical data warehouse like BigQuery or Snowflake and learn it thoroughly. Learn how to write analytical SQL queries using aggregations, group by, window functions, rolling averages, and practice this on publicly available datasets on BigQuery or even on Snowflake. This will certainly help a lot for your interviews and, practically speaking, as well in your day-to-day activities as a data analyst. The next one is to understand what are relational databases. What's a data lake? What's a data warehouse? What are row-oriented databases and column-oriented databases? And when should you use which one? Now, this is extremely crucial to your understanding of the business in general, because understanding these concepts will let you get a good grasp of how the data flows into your company's system. Next comes your visualization or BI tools using Tableau, Power BI, Looker, or even QuickSight. Now, when I say you got to learn how to create visualization and reports, you must also learn how to perform computations and aggregations before you bring the data into your BI tool such as Tableau. Or should you bring the data in the raw format as is into Tableau or QuickSight and then perform aggregations and computations later? Now, these kind of questions will automatically be addressed if you have a good understanding of the cloud concepts, when to move large volumes of data from one system to another, and when to avoid doing so. So these are the questions this is the thought process that you must have while working on cloud. And again, work on publicly available datasets. Create your own dashboards and KPIs using SQL and just one BI tool. So you can stick to one BI tool. And if you thoroughly know how, let's say, Tableau works, you pretty much know 70% or 80% of how any other BI tool might work. You can get access to literally terabytes of big data on BigQuery and Snowflake both, and you can learn this for free using a free trial account. And last but not the least, create a GitHub account in order to showcase your work. Now you can upload Jupyter notebooks, save your SQL queries, save screenshots of the visualizations and the graphs and the charts that you've created in your pet projects, and make sure to add your GitHub link in your resume. So that was it. Hope this video helped some of you guys at least. Stay tuned for more such videos, and thanks a lot for watching.